Finding happiness is not difficult. No, I disagree with you 100%. Miss Jenny, finding happiness is not difficult. Because you don't find happiness. Happiness is something that exists within you. Happiness is something you propagate within yourself. You don't look for happiness in things. If you go spending your life looking for happiness, what you're really saying is, I'm looking for ideal situations that will not have problems. The problem with that is that in the real world, with human reality being the way it is, you can't avoid issues in this world and in this reality. Here's an example of this. I know an established, renowned psychic who had a show. And after the show, they only did one season. It was only one season. But after the show, they had gotten into an agreement or a contract to be able to do regular appearances. That would definitely be a game changer for them because it would give them some stability. They wouldn't have to tour as much. So they were so excited. They were so happy about it. But this person is not the most positive person in the world. They're not the most optimistic person in the world. They tend to focus or fixate on things that aren't working or get consumed in their feelings about what's not working. But they were able to achieve these things, right? So even with that, they were still able to achieve some of these things. Well, what ended up happening is COVID started. And once COVID started, their arrangements or deal fell through and they basically were on like standby. And it took a while for something to come back around. And so you could say, oh my God, I manifested so many great things, but then this happened. Great. And so if you base happiness on circumstances, immediately, even after having achieved these things, they still didn't get happiness. They achieved these things. They were able to get their own show. They were able to get attention. They were able to bring more, because once you have that kind of publicity, you get more clients. You're just going to naturally get more people coming to you. So that created a opportunity to build yourself up, but they didn't really utilize their opportunities. Even though they had their own series or show, they don't do anything to like talk about it. They showed up for the show, they did it, and it was on TV, and then that's it. They didn't do any social media engagement. They didn't connect with their audience in that way. They did some, but it really wasn't much of nothing. So they didn't really use that opportunity that had already come and gone to their advantage. Instead, they just thought that, okay, well, now this new deal is going to work really well. And then it fell through because of COVID and everything shutting down. And they're back at square one. And they even vocalized this online, which was interesting. And I was just like, what the hell are you doing, dude? Like, you had your own freaking show. What the hell are you doing? Like, how many psychics and mediums want their own show on TV and on reputable networks? Like, how many people want that? And you're just like, you're not even appreciative of that. And then on top of that, you're like upset because this is, now life, you feel like your life has come together and then COVID happened and you don't have it. It's not working for you. So, all right, come on. Like, you've got credentials there. Use them. You've got all of this behind you. Use it to your advantage and do something with it. So that's just an example where people can achieve great things, but they don't use it to their advantage, or they don't use it and get the most out of it. And it's what it's about. I have not had a show. I've not been on TV in that way, but I don't need that to be happy. I'm pretty damn happy because I get to do what I love doing every single day. And I do it for that reason, not because I'm getting attention or not because I want to at some point get a show. I could give a rat's ass. I'm pretty good. I wake up every day and most of my day is good. So those things don't bring me happiness. They're not going to bring me happiness. My happiness exists within me. I carry it with me. I produce it every day, even through the little reminders, through the little things, the little joys. And so whether I did a show or not, I can go into something like that being happy, but that's not going to bring me happiness. The happiness exists within me. So when it comes to being happy, happiness does not exist within circumstances. Circumstances can make it easier to experience happiness, but happiness does not come from circumstances. I had an uncle who was a doctor, and he had by standards of where I grew up at and my background, he had a mansion. He had a massive house in one of the nicest areas in San Antonio. He was an established doctor, and he would always tell us, happiness, money is not happiness. You won't be happy with money. And we never got that because we didn't have money. So we're like, what do you mean it's not happiness? And so we always thought maybe he was coming back from the perspective of like a Catholic, because when you're Catholic, money is evil. And that's not what he meant. He just said money is not happiness. Money can buy you things, it can give you opportunities, but you're not going to be happy with money. And I know that now. I understand that now. I get it now. But it took me a long time to figure that out, because when you don't have money or you want more, you think that the moment you have all of this, it's going to be an easy fix and everything will suddenly work and be ideal, and you'll never have a dull or sad or ugly moment in the rest of your life. And that's not true. We're human beings. We're going to have to deal with some shit. But we can establish a sense of happiness that exists within us. So no matter what we go through, we can always find a way back to that inner state of happiness. And it starts by coming to peace. I really believe the trick and the key to establishing happiness is by simply learning to just be okay and come to peace within yourself about the things in your life. That's the first step, and you will get to happiness. But that's where you have to start.